Welcome back to Cumberland at Home Summer Edition. I'm Mrs. Simmons, and today we're going to go back to a game that we played two times before. If you remember, we played a game called How High Can You Go and How Low Can You Go? And in this game, we use concepts like place value, compare and contrast, or greater than or less than, as we say in math, or equal to. And we had to look at the digits and we had to look at the place value and we had to figure out which number was higher, which number was lower. And in today's game, we're going to play something called Beat the Teacher. So you're going to try and beat me using what you know about place value. Before we get started, I'm going to do a little bit of review with you, and then we're going to get into the game Beat the Teacher. If you remember before, we talked about place and we talked about value. Now remember, place means what place is the digit in. So we're going to use 3-digit numbers today. So if we had the number 347, we have 3 places. We have this place, this, and this. Remember, we call this the ones place, and we can show that with a unit block or a ones block. This is the tens block, the tens place, and those are shown with the rod, remember, which has 10 of these. Then we have the hundreds place, and that's the flat or square that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm sorry, it's really hard to do it that way, but there are 100 units or 10 tens in there. So then when we talk value, we have to think about what is the value of each digit based on its place. So in this example, the 7 has a value of 7 ones or 7. The 4 has a value of 4 tens, which we know to be 40. The 3 has a value of 3 hundreds. So that's where we get expanded form, and that's where what we do when we're decomposing numbers. So it's so important to understand place and value. The other thing that we did in the game, How High Can You Go, How Low Can You Go, is we had to know how to compare numbers. So that's where we looked at the value of each digit and we said which number's higher, which number's lower. So if we have 862, and you've seen that circle in the middle before, we're comparing 646. We have to think about the value of each place. We always start at the highest place value possible. So that would be in the hundreds place. So let's look at our hundreds place. We have an 8 and we have a 6. Would you rather have 800 or 600? And remember, I said it always opens up to the bigger number and points to the smaller number. So 862 is greater than 646. Let's do another one. If you have 501 and you're comparing it to 543, we look at the value of the highest place. So let's look at this one. In both numbers, we have a 5 or 500. So that means that that place is the same. So now we're going to go look at the tens place. We have a 4 and we have a 0. Would you rather have 4 tens or 0 tens? I'd rather have 4. So I'm going to open up to the bigger number and point to the smaller number. Now remember, sometimes we can create equal numbers that we're comparing. So if we have the same number on both sides, that's when we say, and we look, 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 and we figure out that those two numbers are equal to each other. Are you ready to play Beat the Teacher? In order to play the game, you're going to need a piece of scrap paper and a pencil. If you have a little whiteboard and a marker, that will work too. I'm going to use the cards, but you don't have to have those at this point in the game. If you want to go ahead and grab them, though, because you're going to use them when we play How High Can You Go, How Low Can You Go, you can go ahead and get them. You might want to press pause and then come back and we'll start the game. All right, here's how the game's going to work. We just reviewed place value, and we're going to use place value to the hundreds place. So this is kind of like how high can you go and how low can you go. What you're trying to do in the first part of the game is beat me, the teacher. So you're trying to build a higher number than I do. Now, it's going to be easy for you to tell if you won, but it's not going to be very easy for me to tell. So go ahead, and if you beat me with my number, write a tally down on your scrap paper or your board and see how many times you can beat me. This is all a game of strategy. So what's going to happen, we'll play a practice round. I'm going to use my deck of cards, and I'm going to shuffle them so you know I didn't set it up so I would be knowing what was happening. You're going to need on your board 3 place values. So you're going to need a ones, a tens, and a hundred. Now I'm going to turn over and I'm going to show you 3 cards, but I'm not going to show you my board. You have to decide where to put each card so that you can get the highest number and beat my number. Again, it's strategy. Now, the trick is you can't move a number once you put it there. So if you put a 6 in a place and then a higher number comes along and you want to change it, you can't do that. I'm trusting you to follow that rule. So here we go. Beat the teacher. The first card is a 3. Go ahead and decide where you're going to put your 3, and I'm going to put my 3. Can't see what I did. Next card, a 4. Remember, you can't move a number. And your last digit is a 7. Trying to put on my face where you can't see if I messed up or not. So, did you beat the teacher? This is my number. If you wrote a higher number than that, meaning were you strategizing and held off and put your 7 in hundreds place? If you did, then you beat me. And give yourself a tally. All right, next one. Remember, I don't know if I won or not. Only you will know. 9. Oh, I forgot to mention, there are aces. Those are 1. And the tens is a 0. Okay, just in case. Oh, there's an ace. So that's a value of 1. Are you ready? So you had to be greater than my number to win. Less than my number doesn't win. Equal, it's a tie. Next number. Are you ready? Did you beat the teacher? If you had the same, again, it's a tie. All right, we're going to do it one more time the other way just to get you practice and ready for the game. So in this game, you're going to try and write a lower number than I write. So think in your head for a minute, what does that mean? What's my strategy? I'm trying to beat the teacher by writing the lowest number. Are you ready? Remember, a 10 is 0 and an ace is 1. Here we go. I think that was the right thing. We'll see. Sorry, I think I gave it away with my face that time. Did you beat me with a lower number? Let's try one more time. Remember, a 10 is a 0. So we had 2 zeros. Wonder what that means as far as place value. Well, this is what I did. So my number would be 30. You could have, if you held off, put another 0 in the middle, and then you would have 3, which I'm guessing is the lowest number. So it's all a game of strategy. Okay, now you are going to need your cards. You might want to get a piece of paper and a pencil if you used up that piece, or just turn it over. And when you're ready, come back and we'll play how high can you go, how low can you go. You need a partner for this game, but if you don't have one, it's okay. I'll show you how I play and you can pretend you're both people. Works for me. Okay, I've set up a game that I'm going to show you how to play. How high can you go and how low can you go? Now, this is just a folder and it's just going to sit between my partner and myself. So if your partner, you want to sit on opposite sides of each other and you want to put something in between so you can't see it. So anything will work. Also, you need your deck of cards, and in your deck of cards, you're going to want to take out all the face cards and the tens. The aces stay in, the joker should be out also, and an ace is a 1. Now remember, in this game, the last time we played, we only did 2-digit numbers, but now we're talking about numbers to the hundreds. So in this game, the dealer deals out 4 cards to each player. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of the same concept as Beat the Teacher, but remember, in this game, you get to pass one time. So you can say, I'm going to pass that card, and you get to pass one time per round. So you're going to build a 3-digit number one at a time, and then I'm going to reveal who had the highest number. So this player gets to turn over their card, and they have to decide where they're going to put it. This player turns over a card, and they're going to decide where they're going to put it, and they could also pass if they wanted to. Get one pass. Now they have to compare and see how they did. So I'm going to show you both numbers. And I put this player's cards this way so you can see it. This player built 743. This player built 276. Which player wins? How high can you go? This player. That's correct. Then you take the cards. You deal again. Put up your barrier. How high can you go? I'm going to let this player turn first. Now it's this player. Let's see who won. This player built 761. This player built 862. Obviously, this player's number is greater. Now, you could challenge yourselves and write the actual comparison sentence, which would be 862 with the greater than sign, 761, and that would change it a little bit. And remember, there's another variation of this game, which is how low can you go? So you can decide midway that you're going to change up the game a little bit, or you can play a whole round of how high can you go until the cards are gone, how low can you go. You and your partner can decide what you want to do. Remember, this is how low can you go, so it's a little different strategy. Ooh, let's see. This player built 197. This player built 159. Who wins? Remember, it's how low can you go? This player wins. Their number is lower. You can play as many rounds as you want, and maybe you'll come up with a different way to play the game. Have fun. See you soon.